Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him. He began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you, and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
Rejoice and be glad. Rejoice and be glad, for the kingdom of heaven is yours. These are words that Jesus gives us in the gospel today. He is presenting the Beatitudes. Throughout the Old and New Testaments, there are 18 Beatitudes. In this gospel, we have 8. Rejoice and be glad. Pope Francis, on the Feast of St. Joseph in 2018, issued an apostolic exhortation entitled Rejoice and be Glad. The Latin name for the document is Gaudete et Exultate, Rejoice and be Glad. Because in the middle of that document is a whole chapter on the Beatitudes. I accidentally came upon that a couple of days ago. I said, I have my homily. I'm going to follow Pope Francis. And so he wants us to see the Beatitudes as a way to holiness, the way we are to live. Blessed. Makarios is the Greek word for blessed. It means to be fortunate or be in God's favor, to be happy, or to be honorable. But the people who act like this are happy, they're blessed. Who are they blessed by? They're blessed by God. In the tradition of the Old Testament, they used what was called the divine passive because they didn't want to say God's name. And so the Beatitudes are written in that way. Blessed are you. Blessed by whom? Blessed by God. Blessed are you who do these things. We're used to hearing the commandments, 10 commandments given to Moses on Mount Sinai. 3 of the commandments have to do with how we relate to God, the other 7 on how we relate to each other. But there's a lot of do's and don'ts. Do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. That's not what this is. Beatitudes are not commandments. They're statements they're a descriptive statement. They're describing how Jesus' disciples are, how they are. This is how they are. And he goes through this whole list of qualities about how are the disciples. In his document, Pope Francis begins with the first one. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for they will see God. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed, fortunate, poor in spirit. Well, Francis says that Jesus is teaching us that wealth ensures nothing. Wealth. We're to be poor in spirit. That has nothing to do with how big or little we have in our bank accounts or among our stuff. You have a lot of stuff or you have a little bit of stuff. That's not what this is about. It has to do with our relationship to that stuff and our relationship to God. The Pope is calling us to be poor of heart, to be people who are poor in spirit, not be attached to things, not to make stuff of this world the center of our lives. That's where God belongs. That's where his disciples place God, in the center of their lives. So honorable or blessed or favored are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. St. Ignatius of Loyola referred to this approach as the holy indifference. The holy indifference. Who cares? Holy indifference. Not attached. We need our stuff. We need our things to support us in life and to help us get by. But we're called to have an interior indifference. A holy indifference that gives us interior freedom. We're not attached to them. We're not here to be caretakers of stuff. That's not why God made us. It's so easy for us to pile things up, though. We let things ride. The years go by. The drawers fill up. The closets are stuffed. You can hardly put the car in the garage. The attic is full and the basement is full. It's full of all of this stuff. And so what the Holy Father is calling us in reflecting upon this beatitude is let go of that stuff. If you need it, fine. Use it. Whatever it is. But if you don't need it, the poor need it. And we should look through all of the things that we have, that stuff. We don't even care about it. And we're tired of dusting it. Get rid of it. Give it away. Give it to people who you really do need it or could use it in a very productive way. To be indifferent to it and to put God first. And that's how we are called to be poor of heart. So we're called not to be attached to that stuff. There's that scene in the gospel. Jesus tells a story about the farmer. Farmer has had a wonderful crop, biggest crop he's ever had. Got all this wheat. But the problem is he's got so much crop that he doesn't have enough room in the barns. So what he should do is give all of that wheat to the poor. That's what the law would require of him. If you have excess, don't need it. Give it to the poor because they really do need it. What did he do? He didn't. What he did, he built bigger barns so he could hoard it. He could just keep it for himself, just stuff those barns full of all of that wheat, and that night he died. He died. The purpose is he did all of that for nothing. What he should have done, if he had known he was going to die that night, is give it all away. Give it to the people who really do need it. And so that's what the Holy Father is calling us to think about as we reflect upon this first beatitude. Today I'm not going through all 8, or we'll be here for supper. I'm only going to do 2, following the Holy Father's lead, and then we'll cover the other 7 later at the 6 at the other time, another Sunday. The next beatitude that he reflects upon is blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are the meek. To be meek. What does that mean? The Holy Father says, quotes Christ as saying, "Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Rest. Be meek. Be humble. Let go of it all. Just like we're called to let go of the stuff we don't need. Let go of all of that pride and think we're so great and we're so above everybody. Everybody just needs to do what we tell them to do and the world would be a better place. No, that's not true. We just have an opinion, or we have a sense of control about it. You're going down the freeway, somebody passes you. They're either going too fast or they're too slow, and they're right driving correctly, or whatever it is. We can be so critical of people, so critical. Next time you're at the grocery store, say Fred Meyer's, stand in line. There's a person in front of you with 18 coupons. You are going to stand there a long time. But rather than becoming irritated and frustrated in that situation, let it go. Take a deep breath. Calm down. Be meek. Be like Jesus. Don't be on people. Don't be judgmental of them and irritated with them and angry. Because that's not how Christians are called to be. We're called to keep everything in perspective and to stay calm, just like the Lord. And to let things be. Sometimes we can be so on to people. We have such great expectations. I remember working with families in the past. Their expectations of their children, the parents couldn't have done that when they were their age. But they have these high standards. You're going to get straight A's. You're going to do all of these things. That's not how the parents were. They probably couldn't even do it. But they have these expectations. And so helpful in listening to this beatitude of being meek is to back it down. Take a deep breath. We're called not to be so hard on people, be so judgmental. They're not this, or they're this, that, or whatever. But to stop judging them and just relax and let people be who they are. I've encouraged people that if you have expectations, set it at 80%. That their goal is to have 80%, not 100. Nobody's going to do 100%. Nobody's perfect, including us. But we're called to give people a break and to be easy on them when we're driving or we're in line someplace, or even in our family with the kids or with the spouse, to take it easy and to be easy on them. There used to be a thing we did for a while called paying it forward. I don't know if you remember that, but what people would do is, in honor of the good that people did them in the past, they would pay it forward for someone now to sort of pay that back. You would be in line at McDonald's and typically, and you'd pay for the person behind you. Just say, I'll just pay their bill. That's paying it forward. That's a way of being kind. That's a way of being meek. Not doing it to get anything, because this person won't ever see you again probably, but to be kind to them and helpful and not be on them, and just relax and live in peace, and to experience that holy indifference, not only towards the things that we have, but also our expectations of other people. The Pope quotes St. Therese of Lisieux, who tells us that perfect charity consists of putting up with others' mistakes. Put up with them. Take it easy on them. Yeah, they're going to make mistakes. Yeah, they're not going to do what you want. We can't even live up to those standards. But if people make mistakes, or they're not quite of the quality of your expectations, let them be. Settle down. Be meek. Be mild. Be like Jesus. That's how Jesus is with us. We're not held to some big divine standard. Jesus loves us and forgives us and gives us a break, gives us another chance. And that's how we are to be with one another. So in reflecting upon these two Beatitudes, we're called to see them as ways to holiness. The Holy Father says that being poor of heart is a way to holiness. And also being meek and mild is another way of holiness, because it's a way of being like Jesus. It's a way of being like the Lord, so that these Beatitudes mean something to us. When we reflect on them, we're called to be inspired to be different. That's not commanding us. It's saying this is how Jesus' followers are. This is how we should be. We should try to be like them, try to emulate their behavior and be people of peace and people who are meek and humble and kind to people. That's how we are to be as we live out our Christian lives.